biggest news story of the week has probably been what's happening, in New Zealand, with Te Pāti Māori and two former Te Pāti Māori MPs, now two independent MPs. A lot of conversations have been had on this show and people talking to us and giving us suggestions about having, Māori voices in and amongst this conversation, which is important, which we appreciate and agree with. And so we are going to actually have a listen to a particular Māori voice in this, Te Ururoa Flavel, who was speaking to Herald Now this morning. Former Māori Party leader, I'm pretty sure was in government, or in parliament I should say, from about 2005 to about 2017. About 2011 was when Hone Harawira split away from the then Māori Party. So he is someone who has also been around the Māori Party kind of splitting apart for various reasons. And he has some really interesting things to say about the current state of what's going on with Te Pāti Māori. This is only like 3 minutes. They didn't give him a lot of time, but it's pretty clear where Te Ururoa fits in that 3 minutes.
What's your take? The process that the party's followed here, what do you make of it?
Yeah, very clunky. On the face of it, there's a number of things that probably be...
It did sound like he said pretty cunty. I don't think you did, but it did sound like he said, yeah, it's pretty cunty. Listen.
Play it back.
Yeah, very clunky. On the face of it, there's a number of things that probably be of a concern. To hear that two of the MPs weren't even involved in any part of that process or the discussion had with them with respect to what was going to happen, not necessarily talking to Te Tai Tokerau and having them involved in the decision, albeit they are a part of the whole infrastructure. That's been confirmed by the electoral chair. Waikato were waiting to Wednesday to hear the discussions from the iwi leaders, and they abstained at that point in time, believing that there was going to be a hui with the iwi leaders meeting. The iwi leaders meeting itself, conflicts of interest at the electoral level. I mean, there's a number of things there across the board, including actually the announcement made yesterday by the MPs. I mean, one would have thought that would be an issue that would be addressed and spoken to by the leadership of the party wing versus the MPs themselves. So a lot of concerns around the process, Ryan. So yeah.
Well, what's driving that, Te Ururoa? Is the elephant in the room here John Tamahere and his seeming stranglehold on the party?
Well, I don't think it's the elephant in the room in the sense that pretty much everybody, every commentator has made that a clear...
Interesting, yeah? Interesting. So Te Ururoa has kind of pointed back to JT. It is just an opinion, but a lot of people are saying the media is being unfair to Te Pāti Māori right now, but former leader of the Māori Party here kind of feels like he's saying that JT is probably one of the issues here, which is interesting. And it's not my opinion putting out there, I'm just repeating back basically what he said.
Since that pretty much everybody, every commentator has made that a clear judgment on their part, and even members of the party have, drawn that out, and it all started, of course, with Edu Kapokini, and it wasn't just, I'm sure, just from the back of his statement, but probably issues that have developed over a period of time. So the element of leadership is a key point in the discussion. It must be, because the decisions are made according to leadership, whether they be political or the party, giving some clear lines to those involved, allowing them to make some decisions, and it seems on the face of it that some of that has not happened in this case.
So where to from here, Te Ururoa? I mean, it's not like this hasn't happened within Te Pāti Māori ranks before, with Hone Harawira going to set up Internet Mana, or Mana then Internet Mana, I think it was, back in 2011. What happens from here? Do you think that Kapokini and Ferris should try and get back in, try and follow that process, try and get back in the party, maybe see some change to leadership? Or is the split that's happening kind of just now happening?
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been basically booted out of the party, so the the idea of them sort of trying to get back into the party is probably a non-issue in the sense that it probably else a facilitated process that brings people together. And I suppose that's the sad part about this too, Ryan, is that part of the Constitution is you have consensus decision-making, which is all about, not about the votes per se, but about having people discuss things, stay at it, keep working at it for the purposes of having kotahitanga and unity. And this hasn't happened in this case. What am I anxious about? I'm anxious about for the fallout, first of all. There's been huge fallout on social media all over the show. There's not one comment that I've found.
That's true as well. Like we saw in some of our posts on Facebook, in and amongst all the racism, that there did seem to be a split. People who would seem to have identified themselves as potentially Māori seat voters on the Māori roll, it was 50-50 supporting and saying I'm not voting for them. So I think however you look at this, even if you think the party was right or if you think the independents were right, whichever way, it's damaged the... Because what's going to happen now, Chewie, is if Kapakingi and Ferris run as independents, then Labour will win those seats because it'll split the vote and Labour will win those seats. So it has caused an issue.
If there's anything good...
Sorry, should we get to the end? There's only 30 seconds.
No, roll on and I'll form...
Come out of this process, number one. Number two, I'm anxious about the election coming up in another year's time. I'm anxious about the fact that there are people here that are involved that have given a commitment to the Māori Party over the last couple of years or so, and prior to, that find themselves on the outer, not only as MPs, but also as electorates. I mean, I'm anxious about the whole scenario, and I'm hoping that some common sense might prevail, because it's all going downhill, especially if people are starting to think about lawyers and what has and has not been done in terms of the process.
Yeah, there you go. And the Herald, Chewie. Yes, sir, you formulated some amazing thoughts, I understand.
Look, everybody, in this Wookie's opinion, everybody involved in this needs to take a step back and a big fucking breath and decide what the real point of this is. Like during Rawiri's press conference the other day, he mentioned multiple times that the mission is a one-term government.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with him. But clearly some people, maybe on both sides of the split, need to park their egos, take a breath, and work out how they're best going to do this. As you've pointed out, for the guys that are going independent that have been booted out of the party, are you going to accomplish that thing? Is that the most important thing at the moment? Like, clearly, supporters of the Māori Party aren't happy with how this is going, whatever side that they're taking. It's drawn focus away from their mission. It's given some horrible racists a whole bunch of rocks to throw. And we could do without all of it, to be honest. Do I think that John Tamahiri is someone that can maybe review what's going on and park a little bit of ego? I don't think he's capable of it. From what I've seen here, I don't think Ferris can either.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd
like,
love to be wrong on either one of these. There needs to be an olive branch somewhere.
The other thing about that, though, is then you hear Debbie say, but for what they're trying to achieve, and from being knocked out of Parliament in 2017, that JT is the man who's done the job. And just to reiterate what I just said about if Takata Ferris runs as an independent, he had a nearly 3,000 seat majority, and really there's no one else really apart from Labour and Te Pāti Māori. But in Te Tai Tokoro, it's a 500 seat majority. So, Mariamano Kapakingi, independent, Te Pāti Māori candidate there as well. Labour walks through the middle. Now, good, bad, and different, I don't know, but I think that's the reality when you see a split the vote. I mean, that's what people thought would happen with the mayoralty in New York once Cuomo and Mamdani ran, that they might split the vote, but they didn't. Mamdani just obviously overrun, but often it does. Often it splits the vote. If you've got Te Pāti, because if you've got Te Pāti Māori voters right now who aren't happy, then they could well go with the independent, but the Labour voters will stick with Labour, and then they up the middle. So this could have long-reaching impacts for Te Pāti Māori or for another kind of Māori political party that may spring up from this, like Mana did. Remembering that the Māori Party was Tariana Turia splitting from Labour. So there's always parties that grow from, within another party, then come out.
Look, we can tell from our own chat that there are supporters of both sides of this split, and a lot of anguish that it's happening. So, hopefully that message is echoed back to Te Pāti Māori. And over the recess, they're able to get this back, stuff the toothpaste back in the tube and get it together.